Hello, Cruising World. Mick the Suit Guy with you. It's Monday. Monday is Tips Day, and I've got some tips from my good friend Mike in Houston for you this week. Looks like there's 6. As always, I have not read them yet. We're going to read them and react as we go. So let's see what we got. I do see there's 6 because I can read the numbers on the edge. I haven't read what's in them. We'll see if we get through 3 and make them long enough so we can stretch this into 2 episodes. That is always the challenge. If not, we'll do them all in one. Anyways, all right, Mick. Hi, Mike. Here, did you know that Mick is basically English for Michael and Mike is American for Michael? It's the same name, really. Here are a few tips for the collection. Number 1, concerning stock benefits. Ooh, I may have to think about this one. If you have at least 100 shares of Carnival stocks, you are entitled to certain benefits as posted under the annual shareholder benefits column. $50 OBC for 6-day cruises and below. $100 OBC for 7-day cruises, or $250 for 14-day or more cruises. However, there's a however. If you do a back-to-back cruise on the same ship, you will still get the total of $250 for the combined cruise, as long as your back-to-back adds up to at least 14 days, in lieu of just 150 or 200 if credited separately. So if you did 2 7 days, typically that would be $200. But if you do 2 7 days on the same ship, they will count that as 14 days, and they will give you $100 for the first week and $150 for the second week. Ooh. Use the Stock Perks app to insert your stock information, and they will add your earned onboard credit into your cruise info. It appears that Stock Perks also automatically will add the additional 100 to your OBC if you are linking cruising back to back, again 14 days minimum. And the 2 cruises have been linked together. So you have to link those cruises as back-to-back so the system recognizes it. You can't just book 2 separate cruises. You have to link them as back-to-back. Anybody that books with me, I will do that for them automatically. But if you do it yourself, you will have to call Carnival and let them know, because they won't do it automatically themselves. It won't register it in the system. So you have to book your cruises and then call Carnival and say, I need to link these cruises as back-to-back. Okay? And now the Stock Perks, you can typically apply for that onboard credit about 6 months out. You won't get it most likely on casino offers. They don't tend to give it to you on, deeply discounted offers, as it were. There is an app you can download on your phone, as Mike said. It's very simple to use. That you can actually link it straight to your account now, and it will read your shares. It's very efficient. They do it very quickly. You'll probably get the whole thing done in 3 or 4 days. If there's a problem, they'll fix it for you. So yeah, it's a really, really good thing. We have a lot of shares of Carnival. We've been, back in the day, it went down to like $8 or high $7, low $8 a share. We have a total of, I want to say 1,900 shares of Carnival. Ooh, we got a lot of shares. And our average price by buying them over the time when it was up and down is little over $10. So we've done pretty well on Carnival stock. I am not going to lie. And also, we get the Stock Perks, So basically, every time we do a 7-day cruise and we get that $100, we're paying for 10 of our shares. It's pretty cool. They used to pay dividends back in the day. They stopped doing that. But, you never know. Maybe they'll start that again, because the stock's doing okay. It's doing okay. It was up to, before it crashed, because it crashed and burned really badly, it was like $70 if I remember correctly. Now it's at about 21 or something like that, but it can go up and down any time. But I don't think it'll go back down to 10. So I think we'll always be in profit on that one. So yeah, very good tip, Mike. If you're not sure, I do have a video on the Stock Perks app out there. If I remember, I'll put it in the description on this video. But yeah, Stock Perks. If you have 100 shares of Carnival, use it. You can do the same thing if you have a celebrity Royal, all those other cruise lines do it too. So check what the rules are based on the cruise line. Wouldn't it be nice if they ever did the time when like Royal and Celebrity do? If you have loyalty on Celebrity and you cruise on Royal, you can use your Celebrity loyalty and match it on Royal. Wouldn't it be nice if Carnival would let you do that with Princess and Holland, which are part of the Carnival group, if you didn't know that? And maybe if you had 100 shares, well, and again, maybe that's not, it's the fact. You are not buying 100 shares of Carnival Cruise Line, you are buying 100 shares of Carnival Corporation. So these same rules apply to Princess, to Holland America. As I understand it, if that is complete nonsense, correct me in the comments. I dare you. Well, I know I ask you, because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Some people think they're right about everything. I know I'm not. I know a lot. I don't know everything. But I think that's the case. This is one of those perfect examples why I should probably read these in advance and do my research, but I don't. I think it makes it more fun. So there's a very good chance I'm wrong a lot of the times in the things I say, because I've got no research tools here to back up what I say. So if I'm wrong, anytime, put it in the comments and put me in my place. Ooh, we got 5 more to go. Number 2. Oh, goodness. I may not be able to help here. If you use a CPAP machine, be sure to carry a long extension cord, as there may not be an outlet near the bed. It is also a good idea to carry wide masking tape to hold the cord to the floor, preventing tripping on it. An alternative would be to purchase a travel-size CPAP power supply that can be plugged directly into the machine and then be recharged at the outlets above the desk during the day. Sounds like good advice to me. I will substitute that for my cell phone. That's the best I can do. At least right now, I don't use a CPAP machine. You never know. But yes, very good idea to bring that long extension cord. I've seen it where they actually run it across the ceiling and tape it to the ceiling. I don't think that's a very good idea, because if that tape comes loose and it falls down, that might not be fun. So yeah, tape it down, get that CPAP going, because it's very important. Good tip. See, these are tips I would never think of saying. That's why I ask you to send me your tips. And if you have any, when you hear these tips, if you would like to, what's the word I'm looking for? Add to them. Put it in the comments. Any help is good help. Or send me your own tips. It doesn't matter if they're on the same subject, because it can elaborate these tips here and we can explain it, differently. Not better, differently, because that's a very good explanation. I'm not saying you would do it better, but maybe you have a different opinion on it. This is why I like, we did this one recently where Suzanne sent me her pros and cons from a cruise, and I thought, what a great idea. So as well as sending tips, send me your pros and cons. If you go on a cruise, send me an email afterwards telling me what you liked about the cruise and what you didn't like about the cruise. But be honest and be fair. Don't say mean stuff for the sake of it. Like if you hear me singing terrible karaoke, don't put the person singing karaoke in a stupid suit was rubbish. Probably won't take it very well. I'll cry. You don't want to see me cry. Number 3. I always carry a European-style wall outlet adapter in order to convert the other non-US standard outlet on some of the older ships. This gives you an additional outlet to use in the room. That is true 90% of the time, probably more than 90% of the time. When I go on the ship, and one thing I forgot to add, by the way, about the CPAP machine is there's very rarely power at the side of the bed, but there's very often USB power. So if you can incorporate that into the travel size CPAP, that would help. If you get one of those that runs off USB, I don't know if they do or not, but I forgot to add that. Anyway, back to this European style one. I did notice on one of the ships recently, which one was it? It may have been Paradise, I don't know. It was on a ship I was on fairly recently. I did notice that they used the electrical outlet for the European one for a lot of the fridges. So it was being used. Maybe they did a refit in Europe and they bought the wrong type of fridge and they had to plug it in European. I don't know. Actually, it would make quite a bit of sense unless you're European coming over. And they're not British flag outlets, because the British flag is totally different. These are Europeans, which are the more circular ones, with a little bit more like the Australian ones. But yeah, some ships now, I think when they go and do the dry docks, when they put new cabins in, I think it may be a deliberate thing. They use it because very few people use that outlet. They are using it for a power source like the fridge. That can save a US outlet in the room. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. What can I say? Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to stop there, and we're going to try and run this into next week, because I did talk quite a lot about the stock benefits. So we can make this into 2 episodes. Mike, you get 2 episodes, and you get the tiger suit. Notice, did this just for you, Mike. And it's quite the right size too. Quite the right. I put it on pretty well, I think. I didn't tie it myself. It's a clip-on, but whatever. Anyway, so there's 3 tips from Mike. Stock benefits, CPAP machines, and a European-style wall adapter. If you ever go to Australia and you're going on the Splendor, no, they have Australian outlets in the wall and no ships. So take Australian outlet adapters. I'm not sure about Luminosa or not, but I know that the Splendor does. If you've been on Luminosa, let me know in the comments if they had Australian style outlets in the wall like they do on Splendor. It's good to know that. It helps, because some of these older ships, there's very little power. I've also noticed, because when I go on board the ships now, I go around and film as many cabins as I can. Like I went on the Firenze recently, and I videoed 18 cabins in the morning when I got on. Whew, that was a lot of cabins. But one thing I noticed about that ship, and it was the same on some other ships recently too, they have 2 USB ports, but they're both on one side of the bed. So be aware of that too. On the Mardi Gras, they got one on either side with that nightlight above it, for example. And a lot of the other ships, there's one either side of the bed. On a lot of the ships, they're all on one side of the bed. So just be aware of that. Sometimes some of the cabins on Firenze were close to the desk where you could work from, and there was a USB port fairly close, so it did kind of count as being next to the bed. But I didn't see any where there was one either side of the bed directly. It was always 2 on one side and not on the other. So just be aware of that. Extra tips, throw them in for free. All right, if you enjoyed that, 3 things you can do. Number 1, you can subscribe to this channel so you can catch up with all of these wonderful tips from all these wonderful people. Sometimes I do it myself, but I like to get yours. That way I learn. It's a wonderful thing. We can share our knowledge with everybody. Number 2, subscribe to this channel, because I need subscribers, which I already said, but that counts as 2 because I like to keep saying it. And number 3, send me your tips. Send me your pros and cons of your most recent cruise. Send me your cruising traditions. Send me anything. I don't read them in advance, as you can tell, but I will read them and we'll react and we'll all learn together. Send me your questions if you have any. My email is coming up at the end of this video. And with that, until next week, which I'm going to record in about 2 minutes because I'll be in the same suit. Whatever. Don't care. Not embarrassed to admit it. I will see you later, Cruising World. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell, and you'll get notifications when new videos come out. And don't forget, click on the links to the left and right of me. You can watch playlists, new video suggestions, and more. Any questions? Email me, cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. And don't forget, I'm a travel agent. Email for help.